If you're really called by God, and if you are in fact a beast, you go from narrative to prophecy, and prophecy is when you find out why you have to go through the narrative. And I subscribe that there are some of you in this room today who are right on the brink of finding out why you went through what you went through. It didn't make sense when you were going through it. It didn't make sense when you were walking it. It didn't make sense when you were encountering it. It didn't make sense when you were living through it. But God says that was the narrative. Now I am getting ready to take you to prophecy. But I am waiting on you because the first part is Aramaic. The second part is Hebrew. I can't change from narrative to prophecy until you change language. I can't, because if your language doesn't change, you will have a narrative conversation in a prophecy season. I don't know who that's for. Just touch your neighbor and say, it's time for you to change your language. In your narrative, you can say, I don't know why I'm going through this. In your narrative, you can say, oh, this is too much. In your narrative, you can say, I'm about to give up. But in prophecy, you have to say, I don't know why God is doing this, but though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. Do I have anybody in the room that understands your language has to change? And that means that even though things don't change, your language has to change. You got to go from negative to positive. You got to go from complaining to praising. You got to go from I don't know until I'll just to trust God. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I need somebody in the next 8 seconds to change your language. Some of you all haven't said amen yet. How about you put on the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness? Give 3 people a high five as I'm getting ready to change my language. I complained all the way to church today. I had negative thoughts all the way to church today, but now I'm going to change my language. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Do I have any language changers in the room? That means that you're not waiting on prophecy to talk prophetic. It means you're not waiting on things to change before you change your language. That really means that when I change my language, things will change. Touch with them and say, I'm going to change it with the way I talk. James says that the tongue is like a rudder to a ship, and it is like the ship to a sail. In other words, my life goes in the direction of my conversation. That's why David said, I look to the hills from which cometh my help. In other words, I'm speaking to the hills because I'm speaking in the direction of my prophecy. Do I have 50 people in here who understand that you're getting ready to go from narrative to prophecy?